Alexandra Eala used to be the forgotten name in discussions about the future of global women's tennis. Not born in Europe, not trained at a French academy, and without parents who had played Grand Slams, the girl from the Philippines was often seen as a regional phenomenon, a bright spark that would eventually fade. But while all the spotlight focused on the familiar names like Coco Gauff or Emma Raducanu, Alexandra quietly took a different path, a harsh, silent, and fiercely determined one. And then, less than 10 days after the US Open 2025, Alexandra Eala stepped onto the center court in São Paulo. Her opponent was Julia Riera, the very player who had defeated Eala at Roland Garros. A seemingly ordinary match in the WTA 250 system, yet it held a very different meaning. It was a rematch steeped in revenge. But this time, there was no hesitation. No more inexperienced 20-year-old girl. Alexandra walked onto the court with eyes that seemed to have calculated every shot. After 78 minutes of play, the scoreboard displayed a cold result. 6-1, 6-4. Not a set dropped, not a stumble. But the remarkable thing was not the score. It was how Alexandra won. Calm under pressure, tenacious when her opponent fought back, and coldly finishing the match as if it were inevitable. This was no longer just a rising star. This was a major player demanding recognition from the world. The truth at the 14-minute mark of this video will make you doubt your eyes, especially if you once thought Eala was just a one-hit wonder. We will peel back every layer of the story, from the painful defeat in Paris to the 7 consecutive wins that are pushing her toward the WTA Top 50 boundary, a place no Filipino has ever reached. If you want to follow the hidden truths, the seemingly impossible comebacks, and the Asian stars who are changing the face of tennis, you are in the right place. Subscribe to Pro Tennis 360 now, so you don't miss a single step of her journey. The victory that reclaimed honor. Alex Eala steps beyond the past to the future. The match between Alex Eala and Julia Riera was more than just a WTA 250 second-round contest. It was a deeply personal match, a reunion between two players with unfinished history. Less than a year ago, it was Julia Riera who stopped Eala's run in the Roland Garros qualifiers. A painful loss not only because of the score, but because of the lasting doubt about whether Eala was truly good enough for the professional circuit. But in São Paulo, her answer was clear. She was ready, and she had changed. From the start, Alex played as if she had something to prove. She attacked proactively, broke serve repeatedly, and completely controlled the match tempo. The first set ended quickly with a 6-1 score. All eyes were stunned by the Filipino player, who not only overcame her opponent, but also overcame herself. Julia Riera, despite playing harder in the second set, could not turn the tide. Alex Eala finished the match with a 6-1, 6-4 victory in just 78 minutes, leaving no room for doubt. That win was a declaration of maturity. No longer the young girl who only tried hard, Alex has become a warrior playing with a clear objective. Winning is a choice, not a chance. Maturity reflected in every stroke. When Alex Eala is no longer green. In elite sports, maturity doesn't come from age, but from how you overcome adversity. And nowhere was that more evident than on the São Paulo court, where Alex Eala displayed her most complete skill set to date. No longer a player who only defends or relies on intuition, Eala played like someone who understood the WTA ecosystem. She knew when to attack aggressively, when to hold the rhythm, and when to wait for her opponent's mistake. The most notable point was her serving ability. Eala achieved an impressive 84% winning rate on her first serve points, an incredibly high figure in professional tournaments. No need for thunderous aces. She chose stability and precision to keep her opponent on the defensive constantly. In addition, her well-timed net approaches, increasingly steady two-handed backhand, and composure under pressure all showed that Eala is no longer just a potential player. She is realizing that potential match by match. Most importantly, it was the way she controlled her mind. Even when dragged into long rallies, even when the opponent broke back, Eala did not waver. She played with astonishing calmness, as if every match was a lesson, and she was the one actively learning to win. A winning streak and the expanding top 50 door. The victory against Julia Eala was more than just repaying a sporting debt. It was Alex Eala's 7th consecutive win, an impressive streak that any young player would dream of. But what's special is, every win Eala achieves shows progress. Less than a week earlier, she had just been crowned champion at the WTA 125 tournament in Zapopan, Mexico, her first professional title. But Eala didn't stop to celebrate. She immediately flew to Brazil, competing in São Paulo, not complaining about the packed schedule, not carrying the mentality of "that's enough." That reflects the spirit all champions possess. Winning is a stepping stone, not a destination. With the accumulated points from this series of tournaments, Eala is closing in on the WTA top 50 threshold, a milestone unprecedented for a female tennis player from the Philippines in the Open era. This is no longer a distant dream, it is happening in the most clear and realistic way. Eala's continuous appearances in the WTA main draws also lead experts to start asking, can she go further? Top 30? Even top 20? With her current form, the answer is certainly possible. But more importantly, Eala is not rushing. She conquers step by step, point by point, with a heart that never retreats. When the spirit of revenge becomes the drive for advancement, no one understands the pressure of a rematch better than a player who has failed in bitter circumstances. And that was the mindset Alex Eala carried into the match against Julia Eala. An opportunity for revenge, quiet yet fierce. The defeat in the Roland Garros 2024 qualifiers was a deep cut in Eala's journey, not because the opponent was stronger, but because she lacked the mental fortitude to turn the tide. But in the rematch in São Paulo, the audience no longer saw the confused girl from that day. Instead, they saw an Eala so coldly formidable it was terrifying. From the very first serve, she established her active position. Not only did she break quickly, she also pushed Eala into a completely passive stance. The dangerous down-the-line shots, the persistence in long rallies, and especially the ability to maintain composure when the opponent surged, all are proof of maturity after overcoming setbacks. This victory didn't just change Eala's ranking. It changed how the world sees her. No longer the Southeast Asian player with potential, Alex has become a part of the WTA ecosystem, where strokes are strategy and every match is a mental battle. The match of composure, when Alex is no longer a rookie on the big stage. Amidst the cheers in São Paulo, a distinctly quiet thing happened. Alex Eala did not celebrate excessively when winning a point. She didn't yell, didn't smash her racket, didn't make a shush gesture to the crowd. Instead, she gently walked back to the baseline, looked at her coach, and continued playing as if it were normal. That composure is not due to a lack of emotion, but it's a unique form of killer instinct seen in major players. She was no longer a newcomer there to gain experience. She came to win, and she showed it with the coldest yet most powerful language, her composure. In the second set, when Eala began to fight back, many spectators thought this would be the turning point. But Eala didn't let it happen. After falling behind in the third service game, she came back with a love hold. After that, she never allowed the opponent to take the lead. She didn't need to win points with highlight reel shots. She won with consistency, intelligence, and controlling the match rhythm like a maestro controls the music. That match proved that Eala not only has talent, she also has the calmness of a player who has endured enough ups and downs to understand that the score is only one part, and attitude is the foundation for long-term success. The inspirational journey beyond the court's borders. If Alex Eala once made Wimbledon hold its breath during the Grand Slams in São Paulo, she made the entire Philippines celebrate, not because of a title, but because this journey proves that Filipinos can not only dream, but can win. When she qualified for the WTA 250 Brazil quarterfinals, social media exploded. From major sports pages to Filipino community fan pages in the US, Canada, UAE, all called her name as a new symbol. Even a high school in Cebu paused classes to rewatch Eala's victory, not for sports analysis, but to educate about resilience and identity. In the post-match press conference, a Brazilian reporter asked, "You are carrying the expectation of an entire nation. Does it feel heavy?" Eala just smiled gently and replied, "Expectation does not hold me back. It helps me stand up straight." The answer was short but sharp, and that is the spirit she conveys. Strength is not shouting, but silent perseverance. Eala is not just playing for rank. She is playing to open the door for a younger generation from places where tennis seemingly has no place. And every victory is a message that you don't have to be born into the system to become the system. When pressure becomes a companion. Standing before the São Paulo quarterfinals, the audience, media, and experts began to ask, can Eala maintain her form? Is this winning streak just a fleeting breeze, or truly a sign of a star about to illuminate? With so much expectation on her shoulders, pressure is not something to avoid, but a challenge to overcome. In the recent matches, Eala didn't just win on the scoreboard. She won in the way she accepted pressure. When the opponent had break point, when the fans cheered loudly, when the camera panned to her face, Eala remained as calm as if she were training at home. The ball landed in the court, she returned it, and then continued to play. No wavering. The motivation from the defeat against Julia Riera at Roland Garros 2024 is now a source of energy. Every time it seemed like she would be overwhelmed, Eala found a way to turn the tables. Set 2 of the São Paulo match is an example. Even though the opponent played better, Eala held every service game, chose the moment to execute the decisive break, and finished with the demeanor of a veteran. Now, pressure is no longer a burden. It is the material Eala uses to weave her story, where every time others doubt is the stepping stone for her to prove she is stronger than yesterday. A victory that means more than the score. Not every victory is measured by points. Some victories are bigger than that. For Eala, the recent win against Julia Riera didn't just push her into the quarterfinals. It marked a crucial shift in her competitive mindset. From a person who had to prove herself, she became a person who is expected to win. In São Paulo, the way she handled the tense games, when facing potential match points that seemed like they would break her, showed she has learned to stay calm in the storm. The decisive games, the important shots at difficult moments, they don't always have to be consecutive aces. Sometimes it's just a sharp first serve, a quick move to the net at the right time, to break the opponent's game. And above all, that victory holds significance for the entire Filipino tennis community. She is not just a winner of a WTA 250 match. She is the image for young people to see. Someone from a small region can still step onto the big courts. She is the reminder, where you start does not determine how far you can go. Eala is not only playing for herself. She is playing for a land, a people, a generation yearning to believe in great things originating from small beginnings. A wide-open future. Top 50 is just the start. Now, with her winning streak, including a Challenger 125 title and a significant achievement in São Paulo, Alex Eala is very close to crossing the top 50 world ranking threshold. This will be a historic milestone. No female player from the Philippines has ever achieved that position in the Open era. But reaching top 50 is not the finish line. It is the starting block for bigger goals. Top 30, deeper runs in Grand Slams, even winning WTA 1000 tournaments. To achieve that, Eala will need to maintain consistent form, avoid injury, and manage the growing media pressure. Off the court, the journey of self-development is significant. Managing the tournament schedule, maintaining mental health, and developing comprehensive skills, from serving, attacking, to defending, will determine her longevity. Filipinos are watching. Asia is watching. The whole world is beginning to pay attention. Alex Eala is not just a player who is winning. She is the hope of a generation. And if she continues to move forward, just one more step will engrave her name into international tennis history. Perhaps the most memorable thing is not the numbers, the number of wins, the rank increase, or the accumulated points, but the moment a girl from the Philippines made an entire stadium in Brazil stand up and applaud. It is when a nation not traditionally strong in tennis begins to talk about practice courts, Grand Slam dreams, and the sparkling eyes of children wearing tennis shoes for the first time. Alexandra Eala is not just winning. She is inspiring, in a very genuine, very quiet, yet powerful way. Every match is a message. If I can do it, you can too. And that journey is not yet over. Bigger opponents, more prestigious stages await her. As for us, we are witnessing a new chapter of Asian tennis being written by the sweat, effort, and ambition of a 20-year-old girl. If you believe that sport is not just a game, but a place where strong people are made, subscribe to Pro Tennis 360 today so you don't miss journeys like Alex's and the rising stars all over the world. We don't just tell the story of the victory, we tell the story of the journey. And you are a part of it.